Tuesday, June 27th. Welcome to the channel. I'm double fisting this morning. I've got my coffee in my seasonal mug, and I've got my tea in my anatomy mug. It's all the liquids, all of the caffeine. Alright. To start off, we're looking at the news. More imminent news this morning are Canadian and US dollar news. Some big red folders for Canada around the CPI. And then some US orange folders all popping up in about 9 minutes. And then at 7 o'clock we have some more US news. Again, quite a few more of economic releases across the board this week. But nothing I would say that's quite large. Maybe the USD GDP news and unemployment might be a bit of a larger news release, but otherwise lots of things that can move the market, but nothing that's hugely big. Let's get into the charts. So the two trades that we are in as of yesterday are Euro AUD. We got in here around 6. Did we get in around 5? I thought we got in around 6 yesterday. Price came down, was looking good, and then unfortunately right around the London Open is when price started to move against us. And unfortunately we got into two very correlated pairs because we're also in GCAD, smaller time frame pair, looking to get into a sell as price came up to this level, and again dropped down and price has gone against us here. So we're just sticking it through in these two trades, not looking to cut losses, try to get out early, just taking them for what they're worth. This guy's a 3-to-1 trade. Euro AUD is 5-to-1. So just holding on tight. Let's get into it. AUDCAD, not seeing much on the hourly here, not seeing much on the 5-minute. We do have this nice trend down, unfortunately. There's just not a lot of market structure here that we can be keen to place sort of entries or anything. So we will continue to monitor this though. There could be an opportunity a little lower down, maybe sort of if price does break this previous low here as support and then come back up, we could be looking to get into a sell. So right along this level, if price sort of breaks this low, comes up, we could be looking to get into a sell right around there. But that's still a ways away, so that's what we're kind of looking out for. AUDCHF, not much on the lower time frame, the 5-minute, not much on the hourly, looking pretty similar to AUDCAD. To be honest, of the two of them, I'd probably take the AUDCAD trade. AUDJPY, shaping up like all the other JPYs. Could be an opportunity for a buy trade at one point, but for now we are just wondering. Interesting. NZD, not much here. AUDUSD. There was a nice opportunity to get into a sell had price come up to this level, but it looks like it's rejecting, so we're probably just going to look at the next leg down, which which is right around here. So again, if we go for a nice breakdown, retest up, we could be looking to get into a sell at this level. CADCHF, I think we said we were hoping to do. We were a little late for a buy yesterday at this point here. Looks like price is coming down. However, it has failed to make a new high, so not super keen unless we get that new high. CADJPY just a little too overextended to get in. Same with CHFJPY. EURCAD just sideways price action. Nothing too keen about getting in there. EURCHF pretty similarly. Some sideways, maybe bullish price action, but market structure is not giving us much. EURJPY, similar to all the JPY pairs, just a little overextended. EURGBP. We definitely can see a sort of bearish price action trend, but just down here, if we just look at this area here, we do have a bunch of sideways price action. Not keen on this price action. Not a lot of clear valuable points of entry. EURNZD. I think if price does break above this high here, we could be looking for a buy, but not totally sure where we'd be placing our entry. EUROU starting to push higher. Again, quite bullish on the trend here, but not seeing any super desirable entry points for EUROU either. GBPAUD. If price does break above these highs and these highs, we could be looking to get in. So for example, pretty significant break. I mean, we could be looking to get in at this price point here. That could be a much better opportunity. GBPCHF, kind of tough. I think this was the trade we did lose out on when we had entered here at 1.135. Price did come down in our favor, but then eventually just started to gain a lot of bullish momentum to the upside, and hence we found ourselves in this upward ascending channel. But even now in the upward ascending channel, we do have this even smaller time frame descending channel here. So we're just gonna leave this guy alone until we get some better confluence. You can definitely trade short to the downside when you're in an uptrend, but you just have to be careful. You don't want to try to get too much profit, and unless you're pretty convinced that the trend is over, which is, it's tough. That's a tough call to make. GJ similarly very overextended. GBPNZD sort of floating in this higher price level range. I do anticipate price will start to drop back down eventually. We might miss the entry there though. GU. Might anticipate waiting for price to start to become a bit more bullish before getting in on GU. But definitely seeing a sort of more of a bullish trend here. So definitely anticipating a buy at some point, but we might want to wait for price to break above this trend line and enter into a bit more of a bullish trend. NZDCAD, again similar to this trade from back here, we had entered previously around this level, ended up missing a 3-yard trade as it reversed against us. We could anticipate something very similar, so either price continues to break and follow this trend line down, in which case we get into a sell on the retest. So breaks down, get into a sell here on the retest, or we anticipate higher highs, higher lows, and get in on a retest down here or here. So that's sort of the anticipation for NZDCAD. Of course, it doesn't have to do either of those. It could just meander sideways. But if either of those two play out, we could be anticipating a sell or a buy. NZDCHF. That's not too bad. He does have, it's not the cleanest of price action here, but he does have a sort of lower time frame descending trend in a longer time frame descending trend. So there could be some opportunity here as price breaks below this ascending trend line support, but maintains within this descending channel. There's an opportunity there. So we're going to add one to our pink list. NZDJPY, similarly, very overextended JPY chart. These guys are not looking as bad, but still, just going to wait on the yen pairs to see what happens. NZDU. This one's a bit tough. Looks like it could be just a bullish flag. So as we're gaining some positive bullish momentum here, we're going to have a bullish flag pattern for price to break out a little higher. Price can break out a little higher and still maintain within this descending channel here. But if price does come up to this 0.63 level, we will be looking for a sell. So somewhere along up here. But that might not happen for a couple days to next week. USDCAD has that significantly broken below this support level. It's continuing down towards this ascending support from these levels. This stuff we could be anticipating getting into a sell, but I feel like he's quite oversold already. So it would be, I don't know if we would want to get into that trade. USDCHF. Similar, we do have a bit of a descending price action here, but we have equal lows, lower highs. Again, not totally sure where we'd sort of mark out our price action for an entry here. We might want to wait for a break of these lows before we try getting into a sell here. So break lows, come up here, looking for a sell at this point here, possibly. UJ continuing higher, very overbought right now. As for these guys, they're all doing quite well. We could be anticipating a nice opportunity for a buy on one of these guys during their pullback, because they probably will be pulling back at some point. Gold, we're just allowing it to play out, see if it respects this trend line. If it does, we can wait for price to close back below the support level again, and then as it pulls back, we would go for a sell. That's sort of it. Let's see if we can rummage through everything very quickly on the 5 minute. actually, let's go to our baskets, see what's up today. So all our yen pairs are significantly up. They're up anywhere from about 1% to 1.5%, which is pretty big. Here we see we already have NZDJPY marked up. So if price were to pull back to this level of 87.54, we could possibly look to get into a buy there. Any other pairs? Looks like our British sterling is doing quite well today as well. Not as well as the yen pairs, but doing pretty good. Can't say I'm a fan of any of that market structure there, so we're just going to move right along. Next up, Australian dollar looks to be doing pretty well. Seems to be up against all the other major pairs. But again, it's at the end trail of doing quite poorly against a lot, so the market structure is not really reinforcing wanting to get into a trade here. Similar to the New Zealand dollar. New Zealand dollar seems to be doing pretty well today, but again, it's not exactly doing extremely well, typically floating between 0.2 to 0.3% on the day for most of these pairs, with the British pound and Australian New Zealand dollar pair at about 0.1 either way. Okay, that is it for today. Thank you for watching the stream. I appreciate it. Close that guy back up, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Cheers.